Hello, everyone. We are back for another Friday. Well, not Friday, another live, a homeschool live. Sorry, it took me a second. I needed to find my fan because I'm a little hot in here with all of these lights. I hope everybody's doing very well today, this lovely Saturday. Happy Easter weekend to those of you who observe the holiday. Happy Easter to you all. Got all my stuff together, got my bell, everything. Come on in. Come on in. We have a really great topic to discuss today. So come on in. Let me make sure. I don't see anyone in here. Usually I have something popping up. If you guys can hear me and see me, put a 1 in the chat. Okay, good. If you can hear me and see me well, put a 1 in the chat so I know I'm being heard. Okay. Hey, Malibu, can you hear me and see me? Put a 1 in the chat for me, if you will, before I continue. How is everybody doing? I'm sorry I missed our Friday afternoon. You can hear me, Raspberry. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I missed our Friday live, but you're going to appreciate my absence yesterday. Just stay tuned. I promise you. Stay tuned. Loud and clear. Awesome. Okay, so we are going to jump right into this just as soon as I get all this stuff set up properly. Today, what are we talking about? We are talking about salvaging a less than ideal curriculum. Now, I don't say bad curriculum because that's subjective. Sometimes it is a good curriculum. It's that kind of, it's not you, it's me kind of thing. So it might not be the curriculum. It might be you. Who knows? So we'll just say a less than ideal curriculum. So I brought a quick example where I will show you, which actually should be a whole video or a webinar in and of itself, but I'll quickly show you a quick and easy way to figure out if you might have some struggles with your curriculum, okay? All right, so in an ideal world, no, first, let me just take the temperature of the group. If you are struggling with a curriculum or you have struggled in the past with a curriculum that you just didn't like or your child didn't like, please put your hand up in the chat. Do a little hand or say me. Let us know if you've had issues with curriculum in the past. And as more people kind of come in, I know it's Saturday afternoon. People are, it's a religious weekend. So we might not have a lot of people in the chat today, which is fine, but people will watch the playback. So let us know so people don't feel like, oh, it's just me. I'm the only one. There's comfort in knowing that there are others in your boat. Person turquoise waving. All right. Yes. So people are having problems with their curriculum. I have problems. I've had so many problems. And in a video I did on writing, finding a really great writing curriculum, it was a great writing curriculum. But I actually had some parts where I had to salvage that curriculum, and I talked about it. So today I just wanted to have a standalone video. Actually, I do have an old video on how to salvage a bad curriculum. I made so many videos. Look at my archives. So in an ideal world, your lessons would be flawless. Your delivery, your teaching style is on point. Your child is mastering the content. Everything's good. You wrap up your day. Okay. We know that don't really happen very often. And if it does, it was the planets were over here. The sun was over here. The ocean height was like this. All these esoteric things are in alignment for that perfect, homeschool day where all of those things are met. We know that doesn't happen a lot. It can, but it doesn't always happen that way. So we're human and our kids are human as well. So I like to say proper preparation prevents poor performance. I hear a lot of people say that, and it's true. So even if you have a curriculum that you love and your children love, prepare now, okay? Always have some kind of, keep your arsenal, keep your toolbox full of arsenal weapons so you can pull out. So why does our curriculum flop? Why is it flopping? Okay, so there could be a number of things. Oh, guys, Okay, Saturday is throwing me off. Now, you know, I like to start our lives with wins and shouting out whatever state, city, cosmos, galactic federation, wherever you live. So if you want to put that in the chat, go ahead and do that. Also, if you have any wins you want to share, go ahead, let us know, and we'll get that. My kids are on spring break, so there's like a lot of chaos going on outside my door. So we'll talk about that. But the so if you think about your wins, you can just jump in anytime with your win. Now, I had a win really quickly, and it's a personal win, because remember, even if it's not related to your child or homeschool per se, it's still life, and your life still impacts your homeschool life. So always consider that a win as well. So I've been working on this project for about 2 years now, off and on for 2 years. And I really, really wanted to do some things, and I didn't do it because I really needed to focus on getting through some things that were kind of like a headache to me to do. And I got it done. And afterward, I showed some of the things that I was working on, or I threw it out to some friends, and I got such amazing feedback. And I realized that you have to, like, I know I'm always saying, get out there, take a risk, you know, you have to fail to succeed. And so I did that. And it, instead of being painful, it was very empowering. So that was a win for me. And you guys will be a part of that win coming up in the near future. All right. So now that we have some more people coming in, let's talk about what are some ways that a curriculum could flop. Okay. And then we'll talk about ways to reverse that flop. Okay. But we're doing triage, y'all. We're doing triage. So we got to figure out what the symptoms are. If you kids crying, you pulling your hair out, you in the corner sucking on your thumb, but you don't recognize that what you're doing right now is causing all of that, we got a problem. So we got to be like doctors in this. We have to figure out, we got to be in triage mode. So first sign that your curriculum is a flop. Number one is probably the most important one. You didn't plan. There, I said it. You didn't plan for that lesson. You didn't plan for that day. You didn't plan for nothing but getting up, having some coffee, some tea, and making it to the end of the day. That was all the planning you had in your mind. A lot of times we set ourselves up for failure. My hand is up. Let me get back here so y'all can see. My hand is up in the air, okay? Poor planning or no planning at all. Winging it, okay? Sometimes that's fine. Some curriculum is like that. It's open and go. Boom, 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 boom. But you got to watch out, because it might seem open and go and no prep, or low prep, no prep. But then there's always like a little caveat in there somewhere. So the number one reason why, in my opinion, a curriculum would flop is because you didn't do your due diligence. You know, okay, let me back that up. Poor planning. Nick, what does poor planning look like? I sat down and I looked at the whole lesson plan, and I figured out I needed to have these supplies, and we got to read from this page to that page. I planned. Oh, really? Okay. So if I asked you, what curriculum are you using? Let me just throw something out there. This Charlotte Mason, all about nature, descriptive approach to writing. I said, okay. What's your child like? Oh, she's just like boom, 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 boom. I mean, she's like, she wants to know what's going on, when, where, do. I'm like, that's not good planning. Most times your planning starts when you're looking or considering your curriculum. Now, if you already got the curriculum, it's too late. You just got to deal with it. That's why we're here today. Proper planning is not just cracking open the book and like, okay, all right, here we go. Where's my pen? Here we go. All right. Work. Lesson plan. Sip. I'm planning. Scribble. The real planning starts with, my child has the memory and attention span of a gnat from the Amazon jungle. This lesson takes 5 minutes just to explain to my child, and it's only like a half page of work to do. And my child got it right. She got to do an experiential dance segment to highlight the answer. We got to go through all that. The marriage between the curriculum and your child's learning style is poor planning. Okay, so you want to match your child's learning style to your curriculum. What does that look like? You have curriculum that is open and go, is straight to the point, is procedure like, meaning we're not trying to go holistic, whole picture approach. We're just teaching the basics of understanding this topic so you can move on to the next topic. Okay, so it's a very no fuss, minimalist type of approach. Okay, get it done. You got a lot of kids, that's all they want, especially if it's a topic or subject that's not their favorite. They want to know, okay, what I got to do? How much of it do I have to do? How long is it going to take? Okay, boom, go. Okay, then you have other kids, they got to like ease into the lesson. They want to write things out, do some yoga poses, think about things, and write a 5-paragraph essay on War and Peace, whatever. Okay, they're not going to be happy with, first write this, then do this, follow up by doing this. Please remember not to do A, B, and C. So in the beginning, in an ideal world, proper planning is matching your child's learning style with your curriculum or your homeschool approach. Okay, and we'll talk about that in another video. All right, another reason why your curriculum might be flopping is, and we're going to kind of stay on the user era, which is you and me. You had a bad day or night, right? You even found out, your car repair is going, the repair person called you early in the morning. Yeah, that radiator thing that went out, it's going to be that $600-$700. And then that's just the part, and the labor's going to be like, $1,001 or $2,000. And next thing you know, you get off the phone, you owe somebody $1,300, and you was hoping that it might be $75. Okay, that's going to wreck your whole day, right? You're not going to really want to teach, or you're not going to give your all to teach, or you're not going to be mindful of the nuances of the lesson, because you're concerned about, okay, how am I going to come up with this $1,300? Or you got some health issues going on, or you and your spouse, your partner, your husband, your wife, whatever, whomever, you had a fight last night and you're still reeling over that. So just personal things going on in your life, you're not in the right frame of mind. So it's really easy to, hit those potholes when you're teaching. And so if you find yourself just mentally and emotionally out of pocket, we're going to talk about our remedies. Keep that in mind. So we got poor planning, not aligning learning style with the material. We have it could be your child. Maybe your child played sports, broke his leg yesterday or last night, or your daughter, she got tangled up with some mean girls, and cyberbullying. Okay. Anything that mentally, psychologically, any kind of thing that just brings your vibration down, okay? That's going to sabotage your curriculum, okay? And we're going to talk about how we can fix that. So that's 2, right? The third one, I'm looking at my notes here. If you know your child has the bandwidth, or you have the bandwidth for 2 hours of good, solid schoolwork, you got to make the most of that 2-hour block of schoolwork. And you have to plan appropriately. Say 2 or 3 hours. Just say 3 hours, because I like threes. For 3 hours, we're going to do some reading. We're going to do some writing. We're going to do some math. Your child loves math, hates writing, tolerates reading. How are you going to structure that day? You're going to start with their strength so they can start off strong? Are you going to start with what they hate so you can get it over with And then you have like the light at the end of the tunnel. You have, the stuff that they kind of like, and then the stuff that they do like that you can end with. Or you're going to start with something neutral like Switzerland, something in the middle. They don't really like it. They don't really hate it. Let's start with that. How would you start your day? Okay. So if you have a limited time, even if you have the whole day, you homeschool the whole day. What's the ebb and flow of your household? This is when you have to be that doctor, that triage. If you know, like right before lunchtime, they start, the energy starts coming down, or after recess, or before breakfast, that's their power hour. You got to look at those times of the day when your child's attention is at max capacity, so that cognitive load is not overburdened. Okay. So right now we're doing some detective, some Dr. Strange, law and order stuff. Okay. Now, once we have that out the way, now we can move to this being the problem. Okay. Now, the first problem was us or our kids, right? Excuse me. The second, well, let me not say this one because people will think this is the bad problem, but it's not. The second issue is when the curriculum itself is the problem. Okay, let me see if I have any questions. Malibu has a win. When my son got the starring role in his theater play, he is a bit shy, y'all. That's a huge win. That's a huge win. Tell your son congratulations and break a leg on opening night. That is beautiful. And he is shy. He's doing something out of his comfort zone. So that's a double win right there. So congratulations on that. Let us know when he has his performance because I want to hear about it. So yeah, if you have any wins, feel free to jump on in with your win. Absolutely. Okay. Now, when you realize, Dr. Mom, that you in triage mode, right? Okay. When you realize the lesson is failing, your child is looking blank, or they shuffling around, they whining, crying, bad mouthing, talking back, whatever, or you are doing that. But when you are cognizant that, this ain't working well, let me get back to you on fractions, okay? Or let me hold on, y'all. And then you run to the other room, grab your teacher handbook, which you should have had already. Hold on. I think somebody's supposed to be coming over here to drop something off. I think my husband will get it. All right. Mom, we don't understand. Mom, what does this mean? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Okay. Where my glasses? Oh, I'm finding glasses. Hold on, y'all. Let me get my glasses. All right. What are we doing here? What page are y'all on? Okay. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. Write your name 5 times in cursive while I do this. Okay. Now it says here. What? I can't do that. Let me see. Okay, y'all. So instead of doing page 55, let me see. We're gonna do page 84. Mom, 84. That's 3 chapters away. Is it? Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I was thinking we would take a break from writing. So let's put the writing books away and go get your math book. But Mom, we already did math. Okay. So that's how you know you're failing. So what you gonna do about that? Okay. All right. You gotta persevere. So this is what we're gonna do. So let's talk about the solutions. Okay. Let's talk about. Oh, hold on. I didn't have my little thing up. My little banner. There we go. So let's talk about what are we going to do. Okay. Now, first, we have assessed the problem, right? It's, oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. If the problem is you or your child, sometimes that's really easy to figure out. Okay. If your curriculum is fine, but it's you or your child, make the adjustments there. Okay. And that, that could be something where you move to another room, do something else, take a break, get moving, just do something where you're just moving, just going around, things like that. But you just want to change that situation if it's, emotional things like that going on, okay? Because you want to get your vibration back up, however long it takes, okay? And remember, if you have to blow up a day where you just can't recover, then that's what you do. But that's the extreme case, okay? Now, you assess the problem. It's not you, and it's not your child. It is really the curriculum. All right, so what we're gonna do, okay? Well, this is where we do our real triage, okay? We're gonna crack open the book and see what's going on, okay? First things first. Now, I know some homeschoolers who are who do certain homeschooling approaches. They will use curriculum from the 1900s, the 1800s, very, very old curriculum that was from a different time with a different sentiment, different sensibilities, and which is great because I find a lot of things from those time periods are pretty superior to what we have nowadays. They kind of just get, it's more, I don't know, but it was written differently. So you might not have as much hand holding with how to explain the lessons to your child, and it might not do anything to explain things to you, right? Or what they were doing is interpreted differently in that age than it is in this modern age that we have. So sometimes you might have a disconnect in what some of these things and how some of that curriculum works, right? So number one, is your curriculum outdated? Okay. Now, outdated doesn't mean, oh, it's old, so it's not good. Because if y'all saw my video on Marva Collins, she used this curriculum. The name escapes me right now. And it was like from the 70s. And I found out that some of the top private schools in my area use that same curriculum. I think the books might have been updated a little bit, but they still kept the core from the 70s. That would have been outdated in the 2000s, the late 2000s. But look at it to see, is it asking you to do things that just don't exist anymore or unrealistic, and make adjustments. Don't mean you need to throw it out, just make adjustments to it. So is it outdated and is it salvageable? Okay, now after you figure out, okay, it's cool, we can work with this, it's not, it all makes sense, it's not, outdated or anything like that. Okay, is it lacking in certain areas? And for me, this has always been my number one gripe with me having to fix a curriculum is certain areas. Now, let me just tell you, is your man, your partner, your girlfriend, boyfriend, are they the perfect match? Like they have everything on your checklist and a mate. Tall, dark, handsome, rich, funny, good job, kind. No. You're not going to find a curriculum that checks every box that you want. You're just not going to. Or if you think you have, wait until tonight. Wait until you get like knee deep in the curriculum, and then you're going to figure out, oh no, I thought it was everything, but then it was not. So crack it open, okay? Now, take this one for example. I love this writing curriculum from Writing and Rhetoric. Now, I have a master's degree in curriculum development and curriculum design and course development. I can read between the lines when I'm reading stuff like a table of contents, a scope and sequence and all of that. Not everybody can do that. So if you were just an average mom or educator and you don't really know all the school stuff or their codes, how they talk in code or what things mean, this might look crazy to you. What makes a story a story? Lesson 1. Lesson 2, a review of narrative types. Okay, that's kind of self-explanatory. 3, fable refresher. Okay. 4, outline a narrative. Oh, I understand outlines. I did that in high school. Story beginnings. Oh, actually, I meant to bring the other one. These are a little bit more clear, but the other books, sometimes you have to kind of decipher what are they teaching in this chapter because you don't understand it, right? And that happens a lot with curriculum that is literature based or whole to parts based. Okay, that's a whole nother video. That kind of curriculum doesn't just say getting started, how to do this. It does. it'll be very flowery. You have to kind of decipher it. All right, so you're gonna crack it open, and you're like, okay, so we have. Okay. Oh, hold on. All right, so we have 11 chapters of me teaching this stuff. Okay. Let me look and see what they're going to be teaching. Okay. Now, if you're lucky enough to get a curriculum that helps you out as the teacher, okay, it gives you a typical teaching week. And we're going to get to this point in a minute. And it gives you an example of how you can teach. Okay. That's all fine and dandy. But if you don't have that, and the table of contents of what you're going to be learning in this book is not that clear, you're going to have to go to each chapter and look. Okay. Now, when I looked at this, I thought everything was great until I got to lesson 4. Okay. That's not even halfway through the book. So when I got to lesson 4, page 41, now this goes to assessing the problem. The problem is curriculum, where the curriculum lacks in certain areas. So your curriculum, you like it, but like maybe if you have a math curriculum, it's strong on fractions, it's strong on division, but it's weak on multiplication. So you're going to have to, do something else for the multiplication, but everything else is fine. So I get to lesson 4, outlining, and I'm going through it, and I'm like, well, this ain't my mama's outlining. It's look, I don't know. I have to figure this out. Okay. So I closed the book. Actually, I didn't just do that. I tried to teach it. And then my son and I were looking at each other like, how are we going to outline fiction? So I put it away. I said, son, we're going to come back to this when Amazon delivers me a new book. All right. So when a new book came, it was outlining. It was procedure. It was to the point, like the equivalent of learning multiplication facts, just straight memorization versus having stories to teach you about multiplication and writing, all these different flowery answers, that Common Core kind of stuff. I knew for the outlining, he needed something straight and to the point. Okay. Now, how would you know if you need something straight and to the point if you don't understand it? When all else fails, if you are dealing with curriculum and you really can't grasp it, you need the straight and simple procedure style. Like, do 1, now do A. Do 2, now do A. You need 1, 2, 3, 4. A, B, C, D. Numeral 1, you need it like that until you can really grasp it, okay? There's no time to be an archaeologist trying to decipher some bone remains, in Egypt. No. So I had to add to the curriculum, which is part of the remedy, okay, which I'm going to talk about. Let me get on with the problems. Okay, so assessing the problems with the curriculum, not you or your child. It's outdated. It's lacking in certain areas, but it's still a good book. You don't throw it out yet. It's either too easy or too hard. Okay. And that should be very apparent. You give your child 1 page to do, and in 5 minutes, like, okay, mom, what else? You're like, wait, I need like 15 more minutes because I'm teaching your brother algebra. Too easy. Like, oh, we'll go. This book is supposed to last a semester. We'll have it done in a month. Okay. That's too easy. The remedy with that, we'll talk about, which is pacing, okay? If it's too hard, that same page, and your child's been working on it for 1 hour, it's too hard. So that's how you know you're going to have to do some salvaging with that curriculum. Another reason why, another way to assess the problem with the curriculum is, and I touched on this before, is your learning style and your teaching style. If your child has any learning disorders, short attention spans, they need a lot of hand holding. You're probably going to want curriculum that is straight and to the point, doesn't have a whole, it's not text heavy on the pages, and it really simplifies the teaching to you so you can teach your child. Okay. If your child is the opposite of that, you're going to want things that really cater to that that brain, that side of the brain where they appreciate like liberal arts and abstract concepts and things like that. So, and you just have to weigh that in. If you're stuck with it, this is what you do. If your child is one way, well, we're going to go to that's going to be part of the remedy. Okay. So just hang with me. I know I'm kind of all over the place. All right. So number one, you have assessed the problem. It's you, your child, or the book. Okay. And whatever you came up with. Now we're going to go to number two. Get feedback from your kid, please. Okay. Your kids look at life and they look at their work totally different than you do. So you talk to your child. What didn't you like about this? Oh, it's stupid. It talks to me like I'm a baby. It uses all these baby words, or it has too many pictures, or it's got too many words on it, Mom. Or like my kids with writing and rhetoric, Mom, it's too much Greek stuff. When they gonna do like modern day stuff? Okay, so listen to their complaints. Think of them, your kids are like, a customer base, and you want to know what your customers like, what they don't like, and then you course adjust after that. Okay, so if you're finding out, maybe it's something simple. Maybe it's we're doing too much in one day. Oh, okay. So if we're doing 2 pages a day, let's move it down to a page and a half. See how that goes. Drop it down to a page, okay? It might be something totally different than what you were thinking the problem was. So find out from your kids first. If you're finding problems with it, like you're like, you know what? Sometimes the instructions are clear, sometimes they're not. So it's too inconsistent. Then okay, I'm going to have to basically do a MacGyver and shore up all these different things, okay? So that's another way to get the information so you can start remedying the remedying. So that's another way so you can start solving the problem, all right? So get your feedback from your kids, other parents, okay? Find people in your group, your clique, whatever, that have used the curriculum. That was one of my main sources of information. I would always go in the Well-Trained Minds forum, type in the name of my curriculum, and then just read. But beware. It's a procrastination tool as well. You get on there, you type in Saxon Math. You're going to get because it's a popular math curriculum. You're going to get a whole bunch of people talking about Saxon Math. You will be there for like 4 days. And your kid's in the corner, cobwebs covering him up. He about to be a cocoon and dinner for Charlotte's Web, because you like eyes all red, just reading all this stuff, not taking notes, but just reading and typing. So, but definitely get the feedback from your kids, other parents in real life, and then go on your forums. Give yourself 30 minutes to get your get your answers, some solutions. Try them out. You don't want to do information overload, because then you're just not going to touch the curriculum. Just take 1 or 2, 3 suggestions max from the forums and the parents, and then start with one and then work that in for that week to see if that might help. Okay. All right. Next. Oh, and when you're talking to parents, because we have to have the scripts. When you're talking to your parents versus your kids, obviously with your kids, you're going to be like, what didn't you like? And then, Lord, that's all you have to say. They'll give you a whole essay. With other parents, questions how you want to phrase your questions would be, hey, what were some of the challenges you had using this math curriculum? What surprised you using this writing curriculum? If you had to use this curriculum versus this curriculum, which one would you choose? If I'm a parent short on time and my kid is short on attention, what's the best curriculum? Or if I'm a parent that's short on time and my kid's got this going on, how can I best use this curriculum? Okay. Or just type in, guys, struggle time here, or perfect. I don't know how to teach my child using this math curriculum. Help. Okay. Or start the sentence. Help. I don't understand how to use X curriculum. Okay. You'll have a lot of moms that will come to your rescue, or type that in because somebody was already rescued about 2 years ago using that same curriculum. Okay. So number 3, revising the curriculum. Let's get into the remedies. Okay. So now that we have an ideal, or we should know what the problem is. It's your child, it's you, or it's the curriculum. And we gotten feedback from the kids, maybe other parents, yourself, okay? We looked at it. Now we can address some of the problems, okay? Now, one thing that I really want to, hold on, let me see. Am I getting any comments? Y'all have any comments so far? Sorry, I wasn't checking anything. Let me know if you have any questions so far. All right, so revising the curriculum. Okay, this you want to take notes on, okay? The first thing that I've always had to do is add to my curriculum, okay? And as a matter of fact, hold on. Okay, so almost all of my curriculum, I always supplement with something because you're not going to hit a 100 or 500 with your curriculum. So be prepared, look through your curriculum and see what can I do to help in this situation. It might be something that you download for free online. It might be a YouTube video that you're watching to help with comprehension. It could be, this is a hard topic. Say it's adding and subtracting decimals. And you know from your other kids or from what you heard from other parents, this is a hard topic. It's a hard concept or unit. Be prepared for that. Don't mean your curriculum is crappy. It just means you're going to have to revise that part of your curriculum. Maybe don't even use that chapter, that unit in the book. Skip it all together. Y'all know in my beloved writing and rhetoric, I skipped book 4, the Crea. Did not like it. Kids did not like it. So I removed the book and then I added something else. Okay. And those are the two main things you're going to do to remedy, to salvage your curriculum. You're either going to add something to the curriculum that's left out. Maybe they don't go deep enough into the subject. So you have to bring in manipulatives. You have to bring in some interactive stuff, maybe some videos or some hands-on activities. You're scaffolding that lesson, okay, or that topic or that unit, okay? You ever heard the expression, you're subtracting to add? Is that how it's said? Addition by subtraction. And what that means is, to get ahead, you have to kind of remove some things. So with the book, you're like, you know what? We're going to have to skip probably 2 chapters in this book. Look through the book. I'm amazed sometimes at parents who they'll buy curriculum, probably based on something that they heard or the hype at a conference, a homeschool conference, and they haven't really looked through the whole book. That's where those surprises come from. Flip through that book, and we're going to have a video on how to assess curriculum in your hot little hands, okay? A lot of times people don't know what to look for. They're like, this means nothing to me. It has 12 chapters. It's got this chapter and some pictures, and that's the extent of it, okay? That's another video. Okay, so you're either going to add something to supplement because it's weak in that area or doesn't really focus on it, or you're going to take stuff out. Okay, we're not doing this chapter. Maybe it has some religious connotations and you're not comfortable with that, or maybe he has something related to lifestyles, or maybe he has something related to race, or especially in your history textbooks. I find with history curriculum, I'm just prepared to be a neurosurgeon. I know I'm going to chop that stuff up big time. Okay, so just be prepared that you might have to find sources to supplement the curriculum, okay? And don't spend all day doing that. Spend one day and not the whole day. Type in lesson 4 is on, let's see, maybe it's grammar, okay? And you're having a hard time figuring out a positives or, something esoteric like that. Go online. Fun ways to teach positives. Fun ways to teach indirect objects. Fun ways to teach Latin, Greek and Latin prefixes and suffixes or whatever, okay? And take that to add to that curriculum, okay? Also, The pacing. Now, what I like about some curriculum that has like a typical day or a typical week is now you can see how it's done in action. I love books that have teacher notes, like Mequon. It's a math program for younger kids in elementary school, and the teacher note, notes from the teacher, or the teacher's diary, which is a separate book. It shows you what the teacher process and thinking is. So here with writing and rhetoric, it gives you a typical teaching week. So now you have something to compare. Okay. It says you can do a 4-day week, a 5-day week. And if you check out my video on writing and rhetoric, I show you how we were like, it's going to be a 5-7-day week, right? You just chop it up however you want. That's the other remedy. You got to be a chef in the kitchen. The book says, oh, you can do it in 3 days or 4 days and have your Fridays off or your 4th or 5th day off. Okay, just be mindful of that. And just know that for you, you might need 8 days, or you might only need 2 days. So don't be afraid to chop things up, take things out. It's cooking. You know, when you're cooking, you add in a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Oh, that's too much pepper. No, that's too much salt. Okay, let me find some potatoes or something to kind of sop up the salt. I gotta throw that in, and I gotta stir that up. I got to chop up some more onions, to compensate for all the garlic that I added in that I can't remove. So you're a chef. Okay, so you're a doctor. You're a Law and Order, SUV, not SUV, Special Victims Unit, SVU, and you're a chef. Okay, you gotta do all that to get that curriculum to where it needs to be. Okay, so you're adding stuff, you're removing stuff, the pace. If it says 5 days, that's fine. See if the 5-day works for you. You just might need more time, okay? Or you're doing 2 pages a day, maybe do 1 page a day. Or you're working 30 minutes a day, maybe work 15 minutes a day, or maybe work 40 minutes a day, okay? So adjust the pace. You can add to the curriculum. You can subtract from the curriculum, okay? So those are 3 remedies so far. Next one. If it's bad, it's bad. You're 1 step away from chunking that sucker out. You're going to have to be a curriculum specialist and restructure that whole curriculum. And that's going to take some time on your part. Okay. Now you have to decide, are there some positives that really make me want to keep this, that it's worth it to make all these changes? Okay, there has to be something really great about that curriculum for you to make drastic changes that I'm about to tell you. Okay, so if there's really nothing that stands out to you about a certain curriculum, you might want to ditch it and just kind of be on your own. If you just have to print stuff out, or just pause it for a couple of weeks until you find something else, that's your drastic step. But if you find there's one solid thing about the curriculum that your child likes and you like, you restructure the curriculum. What does that look like? Okay. Now, depending on the subject, it's going to look really different. Okay. It's either going to be math is going to look different than math curriculum is going to look different than writing curriculum. That's going to look different than spelling curriculum. Okay. With math, if you find that this is really, really bad, and I'm only saying this because math is such a scary topic in America, but if there's a lot of struggle with math and you've given it like a couple of weeks to get through, so you can figure out, okay, so it's really not, my child is really not me. There's some things that don't align well with my teaching style or my child's learning style, then you got to get rid of that. Okay. You don't want to have too long of a gap of learning for math, because you don't want them to forget what they've learned. Just because math is comprehensive, it's built. You learn one concept that will be used for the next concept and the next concept. Okay. So it's not like classes where you can just jump in any week you like and you're not missing anything because it's like a rolling kind of admission thing. No, this builds. Okay. So for math, you want to triage that quickly and find others. The good thing is online, there's so many free things. So if it's not working, you can comfortably teach from just free resources online, okay? Just to get you through to the end of the school year, all right? And then you got to figure out, and this, I'm going to end with this in a minute, and then you got to figure out, you have to do self-reflection on why was it a flop, okay? What happened, okay? But in the end, when you're restructuring, you're going to go through the table of contents, depending on where you are in the textbook. And every single lesson, let me stop holding this up before people think this is the bad curriculum. For every lesson or chapter, you're going to go through, have you some coffee, take a 5-hour energy, put on some music or whatever, sit your behind down, and then you're going to go through each chapter, maybe do 2 chapters a day, okay? At least try to stay ahead a couple of chapters. And you're going to look at everything that's needed, things that are not needed. Say you're doing writing curriculum, all right? And it's on persuasive essays, a persuasive essay. And or science. Science is a little different. I'll stick with persuasive essay. Okay, so with the essay, you have all these different components that make up the persuasive essay, and it's abstract. So it's not like, okay, it's right or wrong, and you check it and you know immediately that it's right or wrong. And you know your child has a hard time with writing, okay, or figuring out how to do an intro, how to do a thesis, how to do a body paragraph. So for that chapter where they, like, say, first introduce that persuasive essay, right? You are going to school yourself on everything that's going to go on in that chapter regarding persuasive essay. Maybe they just focus on writing a thesis for that lesson, okay? You're not going to use the book. Well, you're using the book as a table of contents, but not for the work, okay? Unless you see something in there that's good, maybe like a paragraph or half a page. But remember, you're restructuring this. So what you're going to do, because you found at least one good thing in it, you're going to hold on to that. And then you're going to go and get all your resources elsewhere. But this will be your guide. So like for history, I'll show you exactly how I did it. For history, I use this one all-in-one curriculum company. And I knew I was only going to use a history for certain parts of the world and not other parts of the world. But for the parts of the world that I was not going to use it, I still like the table of contents, the characters, the places, the events. I still like that because I wasn't familiar with some parts of the world that they were focusing on. So I used that as a jumping board to build my own curriculum lesson plans, okay, or my own lesson plans. So I said, okay, so for the South Pacific, okay, you have these people, these events, and boundary changes, political, geopolitical, politics, all the kind of stuff. And I took that, and for each thing that it covered, like look at the headings, the subheadings, look at that, and then go Google and get more information on it, okay? So you like the format of the curriculum. You don't like how they approach it, you know, or the information that they use, but you like how they organize it. You like that they at least put the information there so you know this stuff exists. Now you take that information and then you go digging and looking for the kind of information that you want, okay? So that's when you're restructuring that curriculum. You basically have given a different role to the book. So you're saying, okay, you're not going to be our main textbook. You're going to be the girlfriend. All right. And we're just going to come around. We want something. You're not the wifey, right? We still on the hunt for that. So go to the first chapter, look at the table of contents, and say you're halfway through the book. And you're like, oh my God, there's some little, I mean, I like how they do the grammar that's added into this writing curriculum, but I don't know about this other stuff. The other stuff, look and see what it is. Okay. Look at the subheadings, look at the boldface, anything that stands out, and then go Google, get more information, see if you like the information, and then that's part of your curriculum. Now, remember, curriculum doesn't have to be pages, doesn't have to be textbook. It could be verbal stuff, right? It doesn't have to, be traditional, what we think of as traditional lesson plans, okay? This is also a good time, if you can't find anything to substitute for that curriculum, consider unschooling, consider doing child-led learning, where you're like, you know what? Okay, I ain't got time to find a substitute. I don't have time to restructure the curriculum. So let me just look at what I'm supposed to be learning from this book. And then, my dearest child, I'm going to let you take control, which goes to one of my next remedy. Let's do something exploratory or discovery mode with your child. Now, in math, incidentally, with Beast Academy, get y'all closer. Beast Academy is a discovery-based math curriculum. What do I mean by that? What I mean is they don't tell you how to do it initially. They want you to struggle and think and struggle and think before you kind of start to figure things out, before they drop hints and then they just give you the lesson. It's discovery based. Works well for some students. A lot of students hate it because we are programmed to be spoon-fed, given the information, how to do it, and then just go do it. Whereas with Beast Academy, they don't tell you what to do. They are looking for you to find the why. Why am I doing this? How do I do this? And that's one reason why it makes that curriculum program fairly difficult for a lot of students, is because if you're not comfortable being uncomfortable with trying to figure something out, it's hard. So if you don't want to do that with your curriculum, I mean, if you don't want to, you have all this stuff going on with your child, you can do a discovery-based exploration kind of thing, but not for Beast Academy. That was just one example. What do I mean by that? So you're struggling with writing. I'll keep it with writing. And you're like, you know what? Let's go to Brain Pop, or let's go to YouTube, and we're doing persuasive writing. Honey, go on YouTube, go on Brain Pop. I like Brain Pop. It is a paid subscription, but you like Crash Course, you can find lots of free, well-organized platforms where you can get units of certain subjects. So like for units, like in writing, would be, different styles of writing, genre, literary works, criticisms, thesis, certain authors. You'll have all these different pieces of writing. So let your child go and explore and see what's interesting to them. Don't be afraid. See where it takes your child. Say, okay, we'll go on to YouTube or Khan, type in persuasive essay writing for kids, for 5th graders, for 7th graders, and see where it takes you. Start there. Let them explore and see. Kids are really good at finding cool, fun things. And sometimes just being on that computer, doing something interactive, excuse me, kind of gets you out of a funk. My goodness, my throat. All right, so we have remedies for salvaging a less than stellar curriculum. Removing stuff, adding stuff, adjusting the pace, restructuring it, and then the last couple, sometimes the curriculum is fine. It might just be kind of maybe dry or just like missing a little oomph, okay? Add in something interactive, hands-on activities. A lot of kids learn best with their hands or using as many senses as possible. So try to see what you can do. Like for writing, I told you guys a couple weeks back, someone asked about their daughter who was struggling with writing. I said, put something up on the wall. Let your daughter stand up on the wall and write something, okay? Throw something out here that's silly and let her do that. You have to do Jedi mind tricks on your kids sometimes. But just getting out of the tradition of sitting down at a desk, at a table, pen in hand, pencil, whatever, and writing, it doesn't have to be that way. Go to a different room, go outside, Okay. It don't have to be hard. It does not have to be rocket science. Those little changes can make them more interested in the curriculum. Okay. So I always want to say your hands-on activities, and that's really easy. Hands-on activities or interactive activities for persuasive writing. Hands-on activities, hands-on activities, interactive activities for long division. See where it takes you. Any questions? Y'all quiet today. Is it because it's Saturday? Are y'all cooking and cleaning while you're listening to me? And then finally, no, that was it. So what? 1, 2, 3. I had to write this stuff down because I had a lot to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so you have 6 remedies for how to save your curriculum. Okay, adding stuff to it, removing stuff to it, adjusting the pace, restructuring it, adding movement, hands-on activities, making it more interactive. Next one, have your child take ownership of the curriculum or of the topic and have them go on a curiosity quest to figure out how they want to learn about it, okay? Which is especially good for your social sciences. That's really, really good. That's great, period. Math is really good because there are so many sources, so many videos that are fun because people want to make it fun because math is scary for a lot of us. So I do have a future video where I make a playlist of all my favorite math videos online, YouTube and not YouTube. So let your child go explore, but watch them. Okay. Next thing you know, they've been watching all kind of stuff for a long time. So any questions so far before we get out of here? We've been on 56 minutes. I only wanted to be 30 minutes, but okay. Now watch, I have a playlist on, I think it's curriculum, homeschool curriculum. And I might be alive. I don't remember. Don't throw your curriculum away. Y'all know if you've been with me for any length of time, I had issues with my spelling curriculum, all about spelling and well-ordered language. And I went back to them after I had to step away, okay? So sometimes, as a last resort, get rid of the curriculum. Don't throw it away. Just keep it. You might not understand it right now. You might have to do something else, do another kind of curriculum in that same subject to then understand what that subject, that curriculum was all about. So just, if you can, and if you don't have this, if you don't need the money, if you don't, don't sell it, keep it on hand and then come back to it later. Have your child do those other things that I told you about, doing that exploratory stuff, printing out stuff online. Okay. So long as you're doing something just a little bit, so you don't feel guilty and you don't feel like your child is like, kind of slipping, forgetting things. Just do that just a little bit a day, just a little bit. Okay. You're going to be okay until you can revamp. So if you have any questions, let me know. I will do more videos on this probably during the summer. I know a lot of people are buying new curriculum right now because it's the season. And for those who plan over the summer, they look through the curriculum and they try to figure out how am I going to teach this. And then that's when they start getting buyer's remorse. Oh my God, I spent $500 on this big all-in-one curriculum and I only like the math part. Okay, I've seen that. So we'll definitely be continuing this in the summertime. And what I might do is just do like a subject, each subject, like how do you salvage a math curriculum? That's going to look a little bit different than how do you salvage a writing curriculum versus how do you salvage spelling. Okay. Because some things are easy to chuck and others are like, oh no, this is kind of a staple. We got to be right and exact on this. So remind me about that. I do have it written down, but just remind me to do that. Any questions before we get out of here? Katesh says listening and folding clothes. I know that's right. I got some I have some gardening to do. But we have officially started spring break yesterday, and I got so much to do, but gotta get done. So yeah, so that's it. Thank you guys for coming in. Please do me a favor, put a like on the video. That really helps me out with the YouTube algorithms to get my video pushed out. So if you found any value in that, please do that. I really appreciate that. Rouseberry says, this is encouraging. Lightning Lit, which I love that curriculum, has been good, except the composition needs more scaffolding. Going to hunt online for help on how to teach all the different types of writing. Girl, there is so much stuff written on writing, on lightning literature. If you go to the Well-Trained Mind forum, let me type it in the chat. The Well-Trained Mind forum. And then go to your child's grade level, elementary, middle school, or high school. It's broken up like that. And then some other different ways it's broken up as well. There we go. There are moms on there that they've taken popular curriculum, not so popular curriculum, and they've written a whole new curriculum based on that. You're like, girl, you should like license that and sell it. Because, you know, they have like a number of kids and they're like, you know what, we like it, or we spent a lot of money on this. I can't afford to replace this curriculum, so I'm gonna make this work. And there are some well thought out curriculum out there based off of lightning literature. So definitely, I love the Well-Trained Mind. I know the secular homeschool mom or the secular homeschooler, they have a lot of moms over the years that they've put out their lesson plans, their take, their spin on certain popular curriculum on the market. And oh, also one thing that I like on the Well-Trained Mind, there are, if you've been on there for a while, you'll start to see the veteran moms that respond, and they've been around forever, and they're just a wealth of information. And they'll tell you, hey, for this curriculum, watch out for lesson 5. Watch out for this. This is what I had to do. And they'll tell you the pitfalls that are coming. So spend some time, maybe on a weekend. If you're in the middle of your curriculum, go on there ASAP, like tonight, and then put in problems with this curriculum or help me with this curriculum, and see what comes up. Because believe me, you're probably not the only one. If we get rid of the, it's not you, it's not your child, it's the curriculum, you're going to get a lot of help, okay? Lightning and literature, I know a lot of moms have put stuff out there. What was the paid subscription you mentioned? Oh, Brain Pop. I love Brain Pop. As a matter of fact, my son, my middle son is doing literary responses. And his literary responses to 1984, a book that he's read, and he was just blanking, and he was tired. My youngest son has a really early class, and they share a room, and it woke up. I think he set the alarm too early, and it woke the other son up, and he can go back to sleep, and he was just kind of grouchy, and he just could not wrap his head around the assignment. So I said, just go into Brain Pop. Now, it didn't have anything like specifically on literary response and criticism, but it had things that were similar to it. And he started looking at other things that got him excited. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. And then he was fine to go back to the original lesson. So sometimes just doing something different, changing the atmosphere, is all that's needed to go back to that curriculum. Okay. Any other questions or comments before we get out of here? All right. So thank you guys for coming in on a Saturday. We will be back Friday. Let me hold on. We're on spring break. I will try to do Friday, this Friday. We shall see, because I don't even know if I'm going to be in town. But we'll do something live this week, definitely. So if you have any suggestions for topics, put them in the comment section or go to the community chat, and I'll see those faster in the community chat, and let me know, and we can do that stat. I still have some recorded videos on reviews for curriculum that I need to put out, which I might do during this week. I'm just behind, and I have this really, really huge project that I want to get off my back. And so I'm just dragging in that. So I'm out of here. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope this was of some kind of value to you. Like, share the video, and enjoy your weekend, and happy Easter to those who celebrate Easter. And Ramadan, those of you who are going through Ramadan, enjoy your weekend. I'm out.